everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Liz, and in today's video I am going to share with you some DIYs that are inspired by Joanna Gaines. And before we get started, a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and we'll get more into that later. If you're anything like me, you are a fan of the Fixer Upper and Joanna Gaines and Chip Gaines. I love everything they do. I love their flips on houses, and I love the way that Joanna decorates her home and the homes that she flips. So I went on to Magnolia Homes website. I did searching on Pinterest and her Instagram page, and I tried to find items that I was inspired by, that I felt like I could DIY and recreate myself. So for this first one, I was looking through her website, and a lot of the wall art that she has on her website are botanical pictures of florals and greenery, and I thought that was absolutely gorgeous. So I did a little Google searching and found this really pretty Magnolia printable, and I will have it linked down in the description box for you if you're interested in it. And let me show you how I did a little DIY with it. So I grabbed this frame from the Target dollar spot. I paid $3 from it, and not only did it come with this cute little print inside, but I thought that the frame itself was really gorgeous. So I'm just gonna set that print to the side for a later use. And I found this Magnolia free printable online. I'll have it linked down in the description box for you, but I just printed this on my good old inkjet printer, nothing fancy, just on some printer paper, and I just trimmed it down to the size that I needed it, and then I placed a piece of brown craft paper in the back just because that printer paper is see-through when you put it all together. So to avoid that, I placed that craft paper in the back, and then I just refilled the frame with all the papers that were in it beforehand just so they didn't get lost. I reassembled my frame, and that is it for this DIY. It's super easy, really fast, and it only cost me $3. So as I was scrolling through the Magnolia website, I came across these little lanterns. They didn't have a top on them, and I thought that they were so cute. So I went to my local Goodwill and I found this kind of lantern. I don't know exactly what they're called, but it was pretty similar to the one in the picture, just a bit of a different shape, and I paid $4.49 for this. And I just use my heat gun to heat up that sticker so that I can remove that with as little issues as possible. And then all I'm going to do is clean it on up. There was quite a bit of glitter in there for who knows what reason, and it was pretty dirty anyways, so I cleaned it with some Clorox wipes and some paper towels. Get it all nice and clean. Now I'm gonna place a pillar candle in here, but I wanted to kind of switch it up from the picture on her website. I'm gonna make kind of like a little skirt or wreath around the candle, and I'm gonna do that using some olive leaves from an olive branch. All I did was hot glue them down to some twine. It was really easy and simple to do. I just popped the leaves off of the olive branch and then hot glued the backs to a piece of twine, and then all I'm going to do is tie the twine together around the candle. I didn't want to hot glue the leaves directly to the candle just in case I wanted to do something different with it at a later date. So I just tied that together, and then I'm just going to place the candle inside of the little lantern, and that is it for this DIY. you guys are new here, hey, my name's Liz and I love everything DIY and crafting. If that's something that you enjoy, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and becoming a part of my little crafting family. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, where you can stay up to date on my craft kits that I sell over on my website. Now, I was perusing through Target and looking through their decor pieces that they have in Target, and one thing that I really liked is the coffee, sugar, and flour jars. I love the way they look. I love just the clean, simple, and the wood lids. It's my jam. So I wanted to do a little DIY with those. So I got these again from my local Goodwill. I found all three in a set, which I thought was pretty awesome. The smallest one was $3.49, the biggest one was $5.49, and then the middle was $4.49. They were a bit beat up and damaged. As you can see, this lid looks like it has some water damage to it. So I decided to take the lids off, and I took them into my garage and sanded them down. It did take me quite a while to get that first layer off, just because it was pretty damaged, and they are definitely not perfect in the end, but I think that's what adds some good character to them. So I'm just going to take those lids and I am going to stain them with my Minwax stain in Golden Oak, and I thought that this gave it a really pretty look to it, and it matched pretty well with what the color was beforehand. Now, for whatever reason, when I stained the middle one, which is the one that had that water damage on it, it didn't take to the stain like the other two did, so I'm not quite sure why that was, but in the end, I still think that they all turned out really cute. And then for the jars, I took them outside and I'm going to spray paint them with this Rust-Oleum glossy paint. I wanted that glossy finish to it, so I just went through and gave it a couple of light coats. And then I just cut this out with my Cricut. It just says coffee, sugar, and flour. And I use my transfer tape to apply those. Now, I did have an issue with my sugar one. The transfer tape decided to pull up some of the spray paint. So I ended up having to go back out and spray paint the paint that came off of it. But in the end, it all worked out perfectly. I just made sure that my decals were all the same height so that they all looked cohesive. And then I just applied the lids back on top of the jars. And then I thought that it would be so cute for these to sit on top of my kitchen cupboards. And I mean, honestly, you could set these anywhere. You could put them on your counters. But I just thought that they would add a really cute decorative piece to the top of my kitchen cabinets, and I thought they turned out so cute. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare, which is an online learning community with thousands of amazing classes that will inspire your creativity. I have been loving browsing through all of the classes that Skillshare has and finding gems like this one. This is a beginner-friendly watercolor class taught by Rosalie, and I thought she explained everything so well. She gave so many great tips and tricks, and she made it look so easy to do. The videos were quick quick and simple, which also made it an even more enjoyable experience for this busy mom. I just ordered some watercolor paints, so I cannot wait to dive in and create some nature-themed watercolors. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, so there are no ads, and they are always launching new premium classes. Skillshare's online classes make it possible for me to grow and develop new skills that I've always wanted to have. At less than $10 a month for an annual subscription, Skillshare is super affordable. Plus, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click that link in my description box will get a free trial of a premium membership to explore your own creativity. Thank you again, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. Now on to our next DIY. Now, I love that a lot of her pieces are just very natural, very, you know, those natural tones with wood and just natural pieces, if that makes any sense. So one thing that I found was there was a lot of baskets, a lot of wicker, and I found this wicker tray at my local Goodwill, and I wanted to use that in pair with a couple other pieces. So I found this wicker tray at Goodwill for $4.49, and I'm going to take some painter's tape, and I taped off about where those handles started on one side, and I just use this mostly as a guide because really it's not gonna stick down too well, so it mostly just helped me get a straight line and to not go any further than I should. And I'm gonna take some Rust-Oleum white chalk paint, and I am going to paint that whole side in this white chalk paint. I'll remove the painter's tape, and then I wanted another piece to go with this. So before I show you the final look, I'm going to take some books that I also picked up from Goodwill, and I got these for the look of the books themselves. I'm going to remove those book covers, and I took some tea. Now, this isn't black tea, so staining it isn't really going to work here, but I was hoping to not get a super dark stain just by using some regular tea, and it didn't really stain it at all, which is my fault. But the main thing that I wanted to do was to add that weathered look to my pages when a book gets wet and the pages start wrinkling a little bit. That's how I wanted my pages to look. So I just took a paintbrush and went over all the pages of my books, and then all I'm going to do is simply stack these on top of my tray. I think that this looks so cute, and if you look at any of Joanna's Instagram pictures, or you know, you watch their show, she always has book stacks in the decor, and I just think it looks so good. For this next one, I was inspired by this planter that had this blue stripe in the middle. I thought it looked really cute, so I picked up one of these baskets from the Target dollar spot. It was $5. I'm going to take some painter's tape, and I am going to go around the basket twice, leaving just a bit of a gap in the middle. And I tried to get this as straight as I possibly could. If you've ever tried to get tape straight around something round, it's not the easiest thing to do, but once I've got all the tape on there, I'm gonna take some paint by Waverly. This is in the paint Agave, and I absolutely love this color, and all I'm going to do is kind of dry brush my paint on there. I will dab my paintbrush into it and then dab some off so it's not super or overly saturated, and I just kind of go back and forth with my brush. I did still want some of that ivory color peeking through the agave, so I just went around the entire thing until I got the coverage that I was looking for. Now, you could decorate this with a plant, adding a pot in there, or you could do what I did. I just added some faux greenery and some of my SOLAWOOD flowers, and I just put those right inside, and I think that it turned out so cute. One thing that I noticed is that she uses a lot of olive branches. I love the leaves on them. So I went on to Amazon and I ordered a 4-pack of them, and I will have those linked down in my description box, but I think they are so pretty, and I knew that I had to recreate a wreath that they have on their website. So I picked up this wreath from the Dollar Tree, and then I got these olive branches from Amazon. Again, I will link them in the description box for you, but I just took 2 of the branches that I got and I cut off all the other branches, the smaller branches on them, so they were all individual, and I just started placing them inside of my wreath just by poking them underneath the twine. And after I've got them all in there, I'm going to take some wire to wire them all down so that they're not sticking up all over the place, and I can manipulate them into the shape that I want them. And then it was also helpful to wire them together so that you didn't have, you know, branches sticking up everywhere. And after I've gone around about 2 times and then wired it all down, that's it. This is a really simple DIY, and I love the olive leaves on the olive branches. I just think that they're so cute, and I think that if you got some with the actual artificial olives on them, that would look really pretty as well. She had several olive wreaths on her website, and I think they're adorable. I think it's really cute sitting on a shelf, hanging on the wall, hanging on your door. There are so many different ways that you can decorate with wreaths. So this one was one of my favorites and really took me just a couple of minutes to do. Another thing that I saw frequently were just clear glass vases that had a couple of stems of greenery or florals in them. Again, I love just the simpleness of a lot of her items, and they were so beautiful, so I knew I had to recreate a couple of my own, and they were going to be so easy. So all I did was pick up these vases from my local Goodwill. I paid $1.49 for one, and then the other 2 I want to say were 99 cents or just about at $1. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove those stickers and clean them all up using some Clorox wipes and paper towels to get them all nice and dry. And then all I'm going to do is simply take a couple of my olive branches, and in the end I end up kind of twisting them together so they look like one branch. All I'm going to do is stick them down inside there. I took a flower that I got from JOANN's, I think last year, and I just cut one flower off, stuck it right in the vase, and then I took some boxwood. I'm going to take about 3 of the stems on there, and I twist those together and place them in the other vase, and that is it. Super easy, so simple, and I just love the simplicity of these pieces. And that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which of these projects was your favorite. And if you like this kind of video where I am doing inspired DIYs from famous designers or other types of ideas like that, let me know and I will be sure to do more of them in the future. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!